Nichole today, and we are doing a brand new Sims 4 Creative Sim video today. And so today is definitely going to be a really great day, just because I'm excited to say that I'm finally making some brand new characters for a brand new LP that I'm working on. And personally, this is actually an LP that I've done before on the channel, but I want to mix two challenges in one: the Big Sister Challenge and the Runaway Teen Challenge. And just like hearing that right now, it sounds so hard because you're dealing with a small child, like taking care of your little sibling alongside living off the land, trying to make money, make ends meet, and make a family of your own later in the challenge. And I felt like, you know, with me, how I love storytelling and how I like to make dramatic LPs and dramatic storylines, and with Sims that don't necessarily have the best of life, or who have, you know, a good life, but then it kind of crashed and burned in a blink of an eye. And these two Sims, Nichole Mason, who I'm making right now, and her little sister, Aurora Mason, have gone through a tough time. They had a very good, steady life with their, you know, their two dads, and like their mom, like, you know, yeah, their mom was like somewhere else. But however, they had two dads, and, you know, growing up, they've always had like a very hard life, because even though they lived wealthy, they just didn't really like connect really well as like, you know, child to parent. And after their mother left, like, you know, the picture, they didn't really connect with the other dad as much, because they felt like that he was replacing their mom as like another parent. Even though their mom was always in their lives, they just didn't really wanted to, you know, have change. And even though Aurora accepted the change and accepting, you know, a new family member into the family, a new person that she can connect with and have fun with, and just, you know, just be there for her. And Nichole, even though she's a lot older, and she's like, right now, she is currently 16 years old, and her sister is 8 years old, so they're like 8 years apart. And like, Nichole has been through a lot. Like, when her mother left, when Nichole was at least 10 years old, she went through a part in her life where during that time she was struggling with, you know, bullying her in school, and, you know, social anxiety, and all around just school in general. And her mother was only there for her when she needed her, and it gave her that general emotional support, because her father used to work all the time, and he still does. He actually works in a very like high prestige business company that he owns, and well, actually, he used to own that company and used to be very wealthy, but I will explain. But it's like how you go through having a good, happy life with a loving family, and the next moment, you know, they're gone in a blink of an eye. Because in a way, you can't take life for granted, because you have to cherish the happy moments, the sad moments, the ugly moments, the angry and disturbing moments that you really don't want to really, you know, think about when you lose someone that you truly, truly cared about. And since then, it's like, her mom left a picture when she was like 10 years old, and then little does she know, 5 years later, her mom passed away in a car accident. And then when she found out that there was a new person coming to the family, she kind of hated him a little bit, and still does. And after like he was gone, and so was her father, she forgot that I actually cared about him. I actually really, you know, I thought he was like my other father that I could really trust and, you know, adore. And she didn't really get to cherish those moments with him. And it's kind of sad, but, you know, life what you make it. So let's like try to make it right in the best possible of way. And it's like, after those 5 years, the next year, there was like a terrible fire in their home where they used to live in Willow Creek, and their house basically burnt down, and they lost everything. And when they got the call, like when their parents got the call that the house was on fire, because currently they were at school and doing like their own little thing. And when their fathers got the call, they rushed to the house and were trying to find out, like, getting all this stuff together, but it was a little bit too late, where the house was actually collapsing, and the house literally crashed to the ground with them both inside. And having that moment, just thinking of that moment where the house literally burnt down with them inside, made me really think that they don't really have anyone else in their life that they could really, you know, go to for emotional support or really take care of them in a time of need, because everyone else in their family literally died, because there was no one else Their mom didn't have any siblings, neither did their dad, or neither did, like, you know, their elder dad. And their grandparents were already dead before then. So it was just them two against the world. And it's like after they found out their parents died, and a couple months later, they went into foster care. But Nichole, being the 16-year-old self that she was during that time, she didn't want to, like, go into the foster care system because she knew how it ran and knew how it worked where she lived in Oasis, like in Willow Creek. Because her best friend used to be in the foster care system, but later on got adopted, you know, because they were, like, you know, they were best friends and it was nice, but her best friend, like, told her how hard it was to get adopted at my age, because it just didn't really feel right. And so what basically Nichole did after, like the next day, it was like only 2 days in that foster care system, is that Nichole told Aurora that we need to leave this little death trap of a hole, because you know, we both know that we cannot stay here. We have to stay together, because if you get adopted and I'm not, and you get taken away from me, I don't really know how I'm gonna, like, you know, contain myself, because I really need you and we both need each other. And I know that me being, like, soon to be 17, almost 18 years old, I can take care of you, and I can be that, you know, that role model in your life to, like, you know, help you along the way, to be a nice, you know, kind, generous authority figure once you get older, because right now you're 8 years old. So they decide to run away. Well, Nichole, in the middle of the night at 2 a.m., Nichole packed her suitcase and packed Aurora's suitcase, and they were like, we're just gonna yeet out of here. And so they just basically left, and they changed their name. They changed, like, you know, yeah, they basically got fake IDs, and it was not pretty. It was a very tough time. They had to go into the black market to get fake IDs in San Myshuno in the Spice District for a person that they kind of know, but don't want to tell the authorities about him, because he's a little bit on the down low, a little bit of DL, because he runs a very, very tight ship, illegal business that could get everyone in a lot of trouble. So they took the time to get fake IDs, and they are now living in Oasis Springs on a very living off the land type of area. And Oasis Springs at the time is literally now abandoned. Where they're living in the section, there are 2 lots right beside them that are literally trashed up to the point where that you think the apocalypse happened. And it kind of did in Oasis Springs, where there was this huge wave of a heat wave, and basically things were just catching on fire willy-nilly, and it was not a fun and fresh time. And yeah, Johnny Zest, he's no longer living, and his house is still intact because apparently someone fixed it up for him and thought he was, like, in the hospital getting repaired or whatever, but no, he was gone. He was dead and gone. And his house is fine, new furniture, new aesthetic, new architecture, new style and everything, but no one lives inside of that house. And so basically Nichole and Aurora don't really have anyone to, like, really connect with or anyone to talk to. And the whole thing about the Runaway Teen Challenge is basically you cannot talk to adults, because if they know that you're alone with no parents, they can call the police on you and get you, like, arrested or put you into foster care system, which they don't want to happen. But for me, I want them to, like, find people that they can trust. And there are a few adults around that kind of knew their parents, like their mom and both of their dads, before everything happened. So, like, some adults know who they are, but don't know where they are, if that makes any sense. So there are a few adults, there are a few teenagers, there are a few children roaming around the world that know what they look like, but don't want them to get in trouble with the authorities, because they know they've been through a tough time. You know, it's a lot of things that, you know, go into, like, factors where, you know, someone's going through a hard time, but you don't want to, like, call some, like, higher up authorities, like, you know, social services or the police or whatever, to basically put them in another situation that can really damage their, you know, themselves and, like, who they are and, like, how their lives were. Like, if they put them in the foster care system, all hell will break loose. they will be separated because Nichole's 16, Aurora is 8 years old. One family might adopt the 8-year-old because they're young, they're, you know, naive, and like they don't know better, so like they can like train that child up to be a better person. But as for the 16-year-old, you don't really know how they're gonna be because they're a lot older. 2 more years, they'll be 18. They'll be a young adult, be moving out. It's a lot of things that you have to think about when adopting people. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's just like my storylines sometimes make no sense, but I try to explain to the best of my ability, if that makes any sense, because I want to make this LP to something that people can kind of connect to, but not connect to. You know how I'm saying? Like, it's like I play my game where, like, if I have a few off-camera families that I just play for fun, and I want this LP not to be like the main focus of like drama and sadness and all the different things. I want to play the game how I usually play, like very chillax, and like just do things on a whim that may make sense, and like it may go along with the storyline. Like you might see some Sims from their past that you might be roaming around in the neighborhood that they have relationships with, or people that they just come across of, and they can make friends, and just life just happens, and that's pretty much it. That's the whole tea. That's the whole spiel of the Mason family, and that's their life, and that's pretty much it. But I wanted to say at the very end of this video, even though I should have probably said at the beginning of the video, Nichole's traits. Her aspiration is public enemy. She has the mean trait, the mixologist trait, and the kleptomaniac trait. So Nichole, being the 16 or 17-year-old herself, has done some things that she is not proud of. Fake IDs, some other illegal things, and she had to make do. You know, she had to make money as however she needed to buy some clothes for her sister, herself, change their stuff, and like, and you know, buy stuff basically. So she had to steal some stuff. She had to attend at the bars with her fake ID. So it was like, there are some things she's not very much proud of that she had to do to survive. As for Aurora, she has the social butterfly aspiration, and she is a goofball. And I'm thinking with Nichole that with MCC, what I'll do is that I'll have her quit school have her quit school, but then have Aurora like kind of be homeschooled by Nichole with the More Schools mod by Kawaii Stacy. So I'll use that mod for Aurora and have Nichole quit school based off MCC, and it will make life so much easier because teens cannot go to school in the Runaway Teen Challenge because they are runaways, so they just can't. And that's pretty much it. That's the storyline. Hope you liked it, because I know I like storylines like this, because ever since, like, you know, just me growing up with The Sims and playing The Sims 2 and The Sims 1 and The Sims 3 all combined, I've lived to learn that Sims 2 has the most dramatic storylines I've ever experienced in my entire life. And like reading books and watching movies and television shows, you know, based around drama and, you know, spoilers and scandalous stuff and mystery and like love and stuff like that, made me want to make my own stories for myself. But yeah, either way, like I said again for the 15th time, I will see you guys all in the very next video. Bye!